What is a preemptive offer? You heard about it in the news. You read about it in the newspaper or on the internet. But how do you win in a bidding war? Or what is a multiple offer situation? And when it's best to just walk away? If you're curious, stick around right after this. Hi, welcome back to AV Team Real Estate channel. I'm Antonio, the local real estate agent in the Toronto GTA area. As always, below is our contact information, or you could also find it in the description down below. This is a topic that is extremely relevant for the Toronto real estate market, and it is all about bidding wars. So what is a bidding war? How do you approach a bidding war? And when is it best to just walk away and go on to the next property? This is what I would like to address in today's video. First of all, what is a bidding war? Well, this is not a legitimate real estate term. Instead, realtors refer to bidding wars as multiple offer situations. A multiple offer scenario indicates that there is not just one offer on the property you're interested in proposing on, but there are more than one offer on that property. And it is really not unusual in the current Toronto real estate market for there to be 2, 3, or 5, or even 10 offers. I even heard of 71 offers on a single property. Can you imagine that, competing with 70 other buyers to buy a piece of real estate? To be honest, I would advise against participating or avoiding this in any way. This is a clear indication that you should leave. Better still, I want to showcase all of the possibilities available when it comes to multiple offers or bidding wars by using one of the examples below. Let's use this as an example. This is a current unit that I showed my client in December of 2021. It's just around the time of Christmas. It was also a one bedroom with a study room with a square footage of around 600 to 699 square feet. Because most condo units in Toronto are calculated based on dollar per square footage, a simple advice for a better comparison across unit is to look for similar maintenance fees. As an example, if the charge is 70 cents per square foot, the fee for a 600 square feet would be close to $420 per month. As a result, if you find the identical 1+1 bedroom unit for $420 a month, you should expect something comparable in size. Now, since this unit is less than 5 years old, it is still relatively a new unit with move-in condition. In case if you are comparing with older units, some might need to see the renovation as other aspects to the price. Now just look at the last sold comparable. We could see that one was listed at $699,000 and sold at $720,000 in last October. And then the other one has been dated back to July. They listed at $699,000 and sold for $685,000. Based on this information, roughly went up around $35,000 in 3 months' time. So realistically, we are estimating about $755,000 to $800,000 in range. Guess what? If it's a good piece of real estate in a good neighborhood, there will almost certainly be multiple offers. As a buyer, how do you approach it? Well, here's some advice. Number 1, your real estate agent, whether it's our team or whoever you happen to be working with, will almost certainly have you prepare for all the necessary information. If not, the first thing you should ask your realtor is to check the listing brokerage remarks, because you will most likely find whether the seller stated whether the offer presentation date is present and whether it accepts preemptive offer or not, also known as bully offers. Now that you determine the seller is expecting multiple offer with an offer review date, then there are 2 scenarios in that you should pay attention to. 1. Traditional offer review date with all the bidders. 2. Preemptive offer before the offer review date. Consider the first scenario. On the offer review date, also known as an offer presentation date, all buyers will bring their offers, which will usually have a cutoff time. The seller will then review and choose the best offer, notifying their buyer's agent if a second round will be held or not. Let's face it, in current Toronto real estate market, you shouldn't expect a second round. Instead, figure what your most comfortable offer, which I normally first to establish. Is this the optimal property that meets all of your criteria? Well, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you couldn't give something better at this price point. The second possibility is if the seller states that they are willing to accept a preemptive offer, sometimes known as bully offer. This implies that before the offer review deadline, the buyer might make an enticing offer. As the name implies, you will enter a really attractive number, which could easily be around 3% or 10% or more, depending on how much the buyer loved the property. And don't forget, when you are in the multiple offer situations, most offers will likely go in without any conditions. Whether it's financing or the status certificate review was in no part of the condition, just to have a chance to lure the seller to accept the offer. One common practice the buyer should apply if you really adore the unit and looking to offer the preemptive offer, make sure when you visit the unit, bring in your home inspector and check the unit prior submitting your offer. And an experienced listing agent should have the status certificate ready so that you could have your own lawyer to review ahead of time. And presuming that both items are acceptable to the buyer and that you already have a pre-approved mortgage, you are ready to submit a preemptive offer. Just wanted to touch upon this topic of multiple offer situation. The reality is that when there is more than one bidder in the game, the value of the property would most likely go up, and more often than not, the price will be higher than its fair market value. Even you think you are already offering more than the fair value, but you will never know how much is enough. And to be frank, even the seller or the listing agent will not know. Once it enters the bidding war, it is simply full of uncertainty. And if you fail many times as a buyer and you really like the property and you know that you are in it not for a short term, preemptive offer is one of the methods you could explore. So let's recap when and why a buyer would use a preemptive offer in the multiple situation. Let's take a look at the number of offers to see how a preemptive offer may have won if it had been the second highest. Consider the second highest offer of $850,000. Assume this buyer submitted a preemptive offer prior to the offer review date. Simply by glancing at his offer price, he has clearly surpasses the first estimate he made with the seller and the selling agent. This is a greater than 10% increase above the previous estimate that would have been between $755,000 to $800,000. He had an excellent chance of winning the bidding war if the seller had not waited until the offer date, when the $885,000 offer won the final bidding. Another situation is if you were the buyer and the buyer made a preemptive offer of $805,000, which is only a little higher than the expectation of $800,000, the fair question for the seller is why wouldn't he wait until the offer review date to see if there are any higher bidders, given that the bottom line price was close to $800,000 already. So this is why a preemptive offer would have to be attractive enough so that it could lure the seller not wait until the offer review date. Now you see how a preemptive offer could have the opportunity to outbid the highest bidder in the multiple offer situation. Having said that, the buyer has some decision to make. And before we get to that stage, you need to have your mortgage broker run the numbers on the property you want to place an offer on. Send them the MLS version, the broker version of the listing, which your realtor can acquire for you, and have them run the numbers. Make sure your mortgage broker has assured you that your financing is in good standing, and tell them you'll be competing situation since you won't be allowed to have a financing condition in a multiple offer situation. So you have to go in firm. And that's scary because you have no way out. So you need to know you're on a solid ground with your mortgage situation, which is why your mortgage broker is so important, especially in multiple offer situation. And then you need to do some serious thinking and figure out what property is worth to you, which may vary depending on how long you plan to live there. Okay, your answer may differ if you intend to live in that property for, let's say, 5 to 10 years. And I'm a person who believes that if you're buying in a hot Toronto real estate market, you should plan on staying for at least 5 years so that you're protected from the market's ups and downs. The market is very dynamic, so don't expect that if you buy today in a hot market, you'll be able to sell for a lot more money next year, because you don't know for sure. But over a period of 5 years, well, when we look back at the last 5, 10 to 15 and even 20 years in Toronto, the trend has always been upward, so that it gives you some long-term reassurance and protections in terms of the price that you pay for that property. You could feel like you're overpaying a little bit now, but you won't lose much in the long run. Now, here's how it works. On offer day, your realtor will be notified whenever a new offer is registered on the property you want to place an offer on. And unless you have $1 billion to spend, walk away if your realtors say there's like 30 more offers registered on that property. Please, just walk away. It's just not worth it. You pay a ridiculous amount for that property and you always wonder why you won. You always feel like you overpaid because how could there possibly be 15 plus other buyers who all put in offers? So don't fall into the trap of allowing the fear of missing out to drive you to offer a ridiculous amount for a piece of real estate, because I guarantee you regret it the next morning when it's too late. The bottom line is that once you understand the multiple offer scenario and that you're working with a real estate agent who can provide you with good advice and who work as quickly as possible, since dealing with this situation requires a very attentive real estate agent. I hope you now have a decent grasp of many situations in which you may be faced with multiple offer situations. And please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any more questions. If you like the content, please like the video and subscribe to our channel so we can continue to make videos like this. Now that the new year has arrived, I wish everyone a healthy and happy new year, and may all of your dreams come true this year.